All right, what's going on, guys? Starting the Sunday Q&A at a little after 3 p.m. And yeah, I had not done one last week. I'm pretty sure I did one the week before, but the holiday, Thanksgiving, kind of messed up my whole schedule for everything. Had to pretty much just, hang out with family, stuff like that. So making videos, it kind of put me back a few videos. So I think Monday I should be able to start dailies again, which is ideal for what I want to do. And as always, if you're new to the channel, the Sunday Q&As are just to ask me questions of stuff that you've seen on videos. Sometimes I don't reply to all the comments in the comment section just because I'm busy with making videos, thinking of what I'm going to do, stuff like that. So not all the time I could actually reply to every comment. So yeah, let's see. Why am I not in Florida? It's actually kind of funny. I'm not going to talk about it, but it's I wasn't invited, so I actually was told not to come. So yeah, that's why I didn't go to Florida. And I pretty much, you know, I mean, I have stuff to do here. It's a long way to get there. It's like 29 hours. I was planning on taking the Magnum anyway. Actually, I was planning on taking the Magnum and the Hellcat. And then last week, actually 2 weeks ago, I pretty much found out that I was pretty much not invited. So I ended up not worrying about getting the Hellcat done because I was going to get everything painted for it. And then I was just going to use my truck in my 2 car and take the Magnum and the Hellcat out there. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's just one of those things, I guess. It was, not meant to be. So yeah, that's why I'm not in Florida. If you're out there and you're wondering where I'm at, that is the reason. What am I going to do with the Magnum? So I'm not sure if it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday's video, but I have a full explanation of what's going to happen. The project, if you guys are wondering, isn't dying. I should be able to drive it hopefully Wednesday. I was pretty sad that it fell off the lift. I'm also going to explain exactly what happened with the lift and why I think it fell off the lift. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with how long the lift's been anchored into the ground, and it's just one of those things that lift's been there forever, and I think it's just old. So um, that's probably a good thing to have. I mean, it's a good experience because now it's something simple to check, and it's equipment. So I mean, lifts are probably the most used thing that somebody has in their shop, and most of the time I think that the people that have lifts, once they get them put in, really, if they don't hear any noises or nothing really happens with them, they don't there's no reason to really maintain them. There's not very much to maintain on them. There you can add a hydraulic fluid, stuff like that. So I'll go into more detail in my video. It'll be either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not exactly sure, but in the video I want to actually get the Magnum at least maybe moving under its own power. I'm not exactly sure yet. So it it should be running, but we'll see about the whole moving. I need to do one brake line. It had a different fitting on the end of it, so I'll have to either find a fitting or I might just order a whole set of brake lines, which it should take a few days to get here. But yeah, let's go. So a lot of people are wondering about the Magnum. Hopefully I answered your question. Let's see. So you guys aren't. So I may have found a Magnum shell. Actually, extremely close. There's a guy in Colorado Springs messaged me on Instagram. I guess he watches the videos, and he says that he just has a Magnum that he bought for the interior. It doesn't have. I don't think it has an engine or tranny already in it, and it looks like it's a relatively clean shell. It's an '08 again, so that really makes me happy because I think for to do Uber, you have to have an '08 plus. I'm not exactly sure. I need to look into a little bit more. But yeah, I wanted to do some dumb stuff with Uber, so I wanted to at least have an '08. Um, Not just because of the front end, but just because of the year. And luckily, hopefully, everything works out and I actually get the car. But I'm still gonna use the old shell of the old Magnum, but it's gonna be all explained. And in what Tuesday or Wednesday's video, it'll be explained what's going on. And don't worry, the old shell is gonna probably become the coolest thing out there. And it was almost kind of a good thing that it fell off the lift. I was really sad that when it happened. I mean, I couldn't even believe that it happened. But I think at the end of the day, if I get the other Magnum shell and get it prepared for all the Scat Pack stuff while I drive the current Magnum, and then I just directly swap everything over, and then I mean, if you guys have been watching the video, you guys know what I want to do to the next Magnum. So I think this is the perfect opportunity to do it. And it pretty much got ruined pretty close to everywhere that it needed to be ruined at. So um, the one thing I'm not exactly sure about is either the upper control arm is barely just a little bent, or the strut tower just moved over just a hair because the strut is a little bit closer on the passenger side to the shock tower, or not to the shock tower, but to the shock. So either either one of those happened. I just need to kind of get it on a frame machine and see what happened. But I think that's all relatively simple fixes. And once we do the next Magnum project, I think I'll just go into that. And if it needs to be pulled, just give it a little tug and just go from there. So let's see what you guys are saying. The elephant in the room Magnum update. Let's see. Did I ever find another Magnum? I may have. The FC. So the FC, all that really I want to do to it now is powder coat the wheels, but the guy with the oven. So I have the powder coat. Oh, no, it's not in here. So I have the powder coat, both colors, the base and the clear. The guy is pretty much gone for this whole month. Once he gets back at the beginning of the year, I will have the wheels powder coated, the new tires on it. And that's really all I want to do to it for now, except maybe redo the interior. If I can find a black interior, that would be ideal, but pretty just really waiting to find parts for it. If I can find something good, that would be cool, but really just a black interior. I kind of want to leave it how it is on the exterior and maybe do little mods here and there, which it needs a fuel cut defender so I can actually give it some good rips and have some fun in it. But right now it drives perfectly fine. The alignment's good on it. The wheels are fine. Just once they're powder coated, it'll look really good. And I mean, it'll look really good once the wheels are powder coated. Let's see. The sheet metal for the seat and tunnel bent. No, actually, it's actually surprising that that arm pretty much like it looked like it stabbed the bottom of the car, but it didn't seem like it dented anything. I reset the car on the lift and I lifted it about halfway, and it seemed like the lift wanted to do the same thing again. So I pretty much just lowered it, and I'm just using it like a little floor jack almost. So I'll lift it like a few feet. I don't think it has the capability of actually going to the top anymore. I think the lift has some issues. I don't think it's issues with the lift itself. I think it's issues, well, it might be some issues with the lift, but I think it's some issues with how it is mounted to the concrete. So yeah, I'm just using it like a kind of like a four point floor jack right now. Howdy, Dave. What's going on, Tony? Why not? What? Let's see. Now I feel bad. It's okay, Dave. We love you. Thanks. Let's see. So I don't have any door panels for the Magnum yet, but I've heard that they fit. So eventually I'm going to get some Charger door panels, and I was supposed to get some from a guy as well as a drive shaft, and it kind of fell through. And yeah, so I need to find some door panels. as far as I know, they actually fit onto the door. Somebody said that you just have to modify them just a little bit, but the inside part actually fits. And I'm pretty sure that's true because I think the inner structure is all the same. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have a set with me. I've never tried to put a set on, so that's something I don't know. I plan on doing something like that, or updating the door panels on the Magnum doors. Not exactly sure. Let's see. Did me and Trevor fall out? So me and Trevor haven't fallen out. We just kind of we're doing our own things. It seemed like it was a better option. We're still friends. I mean, it's just hard to do, dedicate all my time to YouTube and just be able to, help him 100% like I used to. So I think it's better for me to actually do my own channel because I can actually hopefully be able to recoup some of the money I have spent and just kind of go from there because it seemed like my channel was going nowhere for a long time. I did the truck video by myself and it kind of boosted my channel, and then I kind of just like was lax with my channel and just started full like helping Trevor 100% again, and then it pretty much went nowhere. So I think this is the best thing, and then I can actually fund some of my projects, and I think at the end of the day it'll be a better thing with financially and for the projects and for the channel and for you guys the viewers. So I think it's just all around better deal. Let's see. Let's see. What? No invite? What going on? It's kind of personal. It's not between me and Trevor, so you don't have to worry about that. It's well, not yet, I guess. Let's see. Greeting from Mexico. What's going on? Why don't you give up on the video thing and learn how to be a real mechanic? Huh. I mean, I probably know how to be a real mechanic, I guess. I mean, I can rebuild anything. What can you do? Don. Hang in there, buddy. Thanks. Need more info on why I wasn't invited. It's kind of just, I don't want to start like this whole pissing war with, I mean, you probably could guess who it is, but I don't want to start like this whole like internet drama thing. So I'll just leave it at that. I was, pretty much told not to come, and it's fine because it is a long way. It would have been cool, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of, it's just one of those things. Do I still have the 3000 GT? Yes, I do. And I actually finally have the hardener for the primer. So I should be kind of doing something with that maybe in a couple days, or if it gets warm outside so I can hit the primer on the door. It's dying. The 240Z, been too long. I've actually been thinking about bringing that car out of the container and maybe hyping the videos up. If I can get enough hype out of it and get enough views, I probably could do something with it. It's just old projects like that have been sitting around. I'd have to like do something almost like clickbaity to like re-hype it up so people would come to the channel. I couldn't just be like, look at my, I'm working on the 240Z or something like that. So I do want to do something with it. And if I do pull it out, I kind of want to just kind of go hard on it and actually get it done. And that means I'd have to have a lot of stuff machined for all the suspension stuff. I'd have to do a lot of body work and pretty much like a full restoration of the car, as well as like a full like, drivetrain build. So it would definitely be a lot of work, and I think it would boost the channel, but I just don't think right now is a good time. I think probably the next project I want to do is the next Magnum, but I'm not exactly sure. I need to find a 2020 Charger because I want a wide body charger for it, and nobody's wrecked one of those yet that have gone through the auction. So once one of those goes to the auction, hopefully they're going to go up high. So I need to find one that's wrecked enough in the back so I could get it cheap enough so I can get it for like around 25 to 30 grand would be ideal, so I could build the next Magnum. But also I need another Charger all-wheel drive police car to build the project. So let's see. This guy's mad about me blowing the V6 up in the Magnum. Literally, the engine was a piece of shit. That engine was not worth rebuilding. You could tell that it's overheated multiple times. The wiring on the engine was pretty much just falling apart. And you think I'm going to sell that to somebody on Craigslist? That's just ridiculous. So that's the reason I blew it up. I don't know how nobody knows that that's the reason, but that engine was garbage. I mean, I don't think even if I would have put new hoses on it, put coolant in it, it would not have made it. It probably wouldn't have made it up to Denver. It literally is surprising that it took so much abuse. But at the end of the day, that's just abuse. You're not actually driving on the highway at a constant speed. I mean, there's all kinds of different stuff, different kinds of loads on engines and stuff like that. So I have a perfect Magnum shell for you, Dave. Hell yeah. I mean, that'd be tight, but the thing about getting stuff out of state is shipping. So it just depends on how far it is. I think if the deal falls through with a guy in Colorado Springs, which hopefully it doesn't, I really am glad that he messaged me. Actually, he didn't message me. He left his phone number at the junkyard, and then I just called him back. But um, yeah, that's ideal. I could just go up there with my truck and trailer, go pick it up, and just bring it back. It's really really simple instead of going across country or paying a shipping company. So let's see. What's up, Dave? Greetings from Perkins Motors, Colorado. Oh, shit. That's funny. Is the lift hydraulic fluid hydroscopic like brake fluid? So lifts usually use hydraulic fluid, so it's like ATF, and I don't believe ATF is hydroscopic, so I'm not sure what you're getting at exactly. Let's see. Lift failure, no fun. Yeah, I've always the only other time that I had a lift fail, I had my 240 on a four post. Well, it was like a scissor one of those scissor lifts for alignments, and that was at college, and it pretty much I lifted my car all the way to the top, set it on the locks, and the hydraulic ram failed. So I was like, well, I need to go to work today, and my car's sitting up there, and then it has suspension and stuff. So me and one guy on one side just hit the locks with the hammer, and the thing just fell down. And I mean, it didn't do anything. It just went down really fast. But I mean, the whole lift at the junkyard situation was a whole different animal. I mean, I've never had a car fall off a lift, and I mean, it was pretty crazy. I can't believe that the car isn't more damaged than it is because how far it fell, and I mean, it's pretty mangled, but it's not as mangled as you'd expect for it falling like a story off it. Like it fell like a story. So I don't know. Let's see. Hi from the UK. What's up, Eddie? Hi from North Africa. What is up? Uber. You do these live streams from a van parked outside of school. I don't know. I don't know about that. I just need to do these live streams from a van parked outside the ghetto with like some sunglasses and binoculars around my neck. Let's see. Let's Let's see. Hello from Canada. What is going on? Is there any GoPro footage from when the car fell off the lift? So what happened was the GoPro was on the car, but it was facing towards the engine because I was just doing all of the stuff. When you saw me with my head cam on, putting all of the stuff onto the like the windshield wiper stuff, the GoPro pretty much was sitting looking at that, and I had footage of that besides my head cam footage. And like right when it like dropped, I think that GoPro fell on the floor, and then the crash support on the bumper just like literally like impaled the GoPro. So the SD card in the GoPro was smashed. Everything was, I mean, that GoPro is not usable. I tried to get the SD card out, but it was literally broken half. So yeah, there's no recovering that footage. So unfortunately, there isn't any footage. I think it would have been really good for the video if there was footage, because people would have been like, oh, this car fell off the lift. And I think people would have been more like, damn. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing in that aspect. Hello from Norway. What's going on? Have I fixed the lift yet? No, I'm just using it as like a four-post floor jack right now. Let's see. How am I going to build without a lift? I mean, I've built a lot of things without lifts before. Thought I was going to Cali. I'm planning on I'm hoping to go to California. So I was either going to take the Magnum or the Hellcat or both, and it just kind of depends. I was going to go for some stuff, and I mean, my grandma's friends are having some parties, and I was going to go because we always go up to the atoll and camp, but it just kind of depends. I want to get the Hellcat painted, all the stuff on the front. The fenders are ready, the flares are ready, and I need to pull the hood out of the box and make sure there's nothing I need to address on it. But I want to have something up there, so I don't want to just go up there and not have a car to have fun with, because that'd be no fun. Next, let's swap a Jeep Grand Cherokee. So you're gonna salvage it. Salvage what, Dave? I was wondering if I just explained the whole Trevor thing. We're still friends. There's no fallout. It's just one of those things. Should build a Hellcat Magnum. If you've watched the videos, you know that's what's coming next in a sort. So it's going to be kind of hopefully insane. Hopefully I can get some companies to back the project, because that would be pretty cool. Maybe a lift company to supply a new lift, because I'll need a lift for the project, but definitely we'll need some turbos for it. I'd rather go with Borg Warner than Garrett. I'm kind of tired of seeing Garrett everywhere. They're just kind of a basic turbocharger that gets a lot of recognition because they just give every big influencer a turbo. Borg Warner, I've liked the turbos forever, so I don't know. I'd rather work with them, but the likeliness of that happening is probably zero. So I'll probably just have to buy them myself, and those turbos are like $3,000 a piece. So is the back of the car tweaked? So the back of the car isn't really tweaked. Where the passenger back door kind of got messed up. It was already kind of messed up as it was, but it's a little bit more messed up. And then the little flare, wheel arch is kind of mangled. But if I do an exterior swap on that car, it will resolve all that issue, so it really doesn't matter. Let's see. Move the car and do a lift diagnostic video. I was almost thinking about getting a car from the junkyard and sticking it on the lift and then lifting it up. But my feeling is I almost feel like if I lift another car all the way up on the lift might fall down. Is what scares me. I'm actually surprised that the lift didn't fall down in the first place. Um, you'll see in Wednesday's video. It's pretty crazy that you'll know exactly what happened once I kind of explain what's going on and kind of show you. But I'm surprised the lift, the one side of the lift didn't actually fall down with the car. So it's just one of those things. Let's see. The hatch won't open. Check the video out. I feel like if I get the hatch open and I actually hammer that spot out where it lipped over the hatch, I think it'll be fine. I think that it just kind of smashed the metal over the hatch, making it so it won't actually go up. But I mean, it's just something we'll have to see. I'll have to get the hatch open and then kind of go from there. Never see me that pissed. I don't get really mad a lot, and at that point, if the Mustang wasn't in the shop, I think of other stuff when I get mad. And if the Mustang wasn't in the shop, if there wasn't really like anything in there that I could have broke that would have cost me more breaking it, I probably would have like thrown something like I would have thrown something like really big. I don't know. I one day the one guy at the yard, he was like trying to get a door off a Subaru, and he was like prying on it, and I just like walked over and ripped it off, and he's like, oh man, he's like, I hope I never make you mad. And so I don't get mad very often, but it's just one of those things. I mean, everybody gets mad, especially when your car falls off the lift. So I mean, it was a pretty depressing live stream and a pretty depressing video, but I mean, it's what's to be expected. I mean, I had a lot of time into that car. I have a lot of time in that car, and it's just, you know, it's kind of like a shock. So let's see. How's my truck? Am I going to do anything else with it? So the truck is fine. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if I want to. I don't know what I want to do with it. I kind of want to. I kind of don't know. I want wheels for it, but then at the end of the day, I almost want to sell it and get like another truck, get like a newer one to rebuild, or maybe get like a, I don't know. I think Fords are probably right now the best truck you can get, the diesel ones. But you know, I'd be without a truck if I got a salvage truck and fixed it, or if I sold this one and then did that. I'm not exactly sure how I'd do it or go about doing it. And then the whole time situation, when would I actually do it? So right now my truck's good, it runs and drives good. I just really wish I had wheels on it. It would look so much better with wheels. So let's see. What's my full-time job? I don't have a full-time job. Just joined in, so you're going to continue with the build. Of course I'm going to continue with the build. All-wheel drive, Hellcat, Magnum. Yes. Bob, you have the perfect Magnum body. It's tight. Where are you located at? Next swap, Magnum V6 swapping in a Challenger Hellcat. I mean, that would be almost like if I needed a Hellcat engine and I was just running stuff to the auction. I'm surprised. Well, I mean, if you go on Copart, there's a lot of that stuff going on with GTRs. People will pull the GTR. They'll buy a wrecked car, wrecked GTR. They'll get it. They'll pull the GTR engine and tranny out, and then they'll put a 370Z engine in there, and then you just like, what the hell? You get this thing and it has a 370Z engine in it. But hello from Portugal. What's going on? Are you gonna see the G35 again? I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with that car. It runs and drives. I just want to. I've just been literally trying to sell that thing as a drift car for I think 3 grand, 2,500, 3 grand, and I've had no interest in it. I mean, it's kind of haggard, but the coilovers are $1,200 on it, and the ECU tune was like 500 bucks. I mean, there's all kinds of good parts on it. So, I mean, I feel like $2,500 for a drift ready G35 is a pretty good deal. But I don't know. I really am kind of tired of drifting. I've been tired of drifting for probably 5 years, and I do it every once in a while. It's fun to go do, but it's just got to that point with how people go to events. There's just either so many people, there's not enough seat time, or anytime there's an event, it's a super hot day. I'd rather just do something every once in a while, like in the mountains or something like that. It's just so much easier. It's nice and cool. You can do it whenever you want. I mean, it's kind of illegal, but at the end of the day, I mean, if you're not doing it all the time, it's not that big of a deal to me. And if you're not doing it when there's a bunch of people around, it's not that big of a deal. So I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of the whole drifting scene and how it's progressed into what it is. I just feel like it's gone downhill and not progressed at all. Just glad I didn't get hurt. Thanks a lot. Let's see. Yeah, Georgia's kind of a far drive to go pick up a Magnum. I'd have to definitely have something else to pick up or do when I got there. So keep up the good work. Thanks a lot. Good day from Queensland, Australia. What's going on? So there's still going to be Magnum stuff if you're wondering, if you just joined the live stream. Let's see. Hello from East Canada. What's going on? I think the Z's I think the Z's cool enough to bring in views. I mean, I think it probably would, but to get like enough views to kind of like the Magnum. I mean, the Magnum gets pretty decent views compared to all my other stuff. The Magnum does better than the Hellcat videos, which is pretty crazy. Greetings from Germany. What's going on, Thomas? Get the new Magnum and race. It's just a 6. I don't even know what that is, but the I'll race them in the old Magnum. I mean, that thing is going to run and drive probably by the end of the week. So the 2.7 is one of the worst engines ever made. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty surprising. Oh, Grand Junction. Man, Grand Junction. I would rather drive to Florida than drive to Grand Junction. I swear, Grand Junction is like the worst drive in Colorado. It's in like the corner, and it seems like it takes forever. It'll take me a whole day to drive to Grand Junction and back, and it's just like, oh my god, it's all mountains and it's just awful. Sorry, Don, or sorry, Bob, but I mean, I've gone to Grand Junction too many times, and it's just every time, it's just so. I mean, I just hate that drive. Let's see, Jesse. Oh man, do I have a Patreon? Yes, I do. It's in the link in the description of every video. I'm not exactly sure what the name is on it, but there's a link in the description. It should be like Junkyard Dave, but I think I had to put like a dot or something in there, maybe. Not exactly sure when I made it, but it was probably a year ago when I made it. So the V6 would make a good boat anchor. I mean, it would never rust with all that sludge in it. Dave, read Bob's message. It says Colorado. Yeah, I know Grand Junction's in Colorado. It's just a horrible drive. If you've ever driven to Grand Junction from, I don't know. Let's see. How far are you from Detroit, Michigan? Those things are a dime a dozen. So Detroit is, I think, 16 hours from here, which I think I've driven. I drove through Detroit one. Oh no, I drove through Chicago one time. I think it was through Chicago when I went to Minnesota. So and they're getting somebody. Getting somebody. Yeah, New York is a little bit far. How's my wife deal with all my investments? So I haven't had a girlfriend in probably like, man, it's been a while. It's literally been a while since I worked at Cummins. I haven't had a girlfriend. So I mean, it's just kind of hard doing the whole YouTube thing, and I mean, just going like literally, I go to either a junkyard or my shop or you know wherever, and then I go home. I mean, there's not much in between, so it's not like having a normal job. And pretty much every other girlfriend I've had, I met one in college and the other two were at work. So not having a job where you could like meet girls is kind of a pain in the ass, especially around here. So maybe maybe if I went to like Cali or Texas or somewhere that actually had like more of a selection. Around here it's slim pickings. Maybe like Germany or Russia. I wouldn't mind going to either of those places either. What's the deal with all these trolls? They're bored. It's Sunday. What do you expect? Let's see. So a lot of people have been talking about the lift arm on the passenger side, how it's not touching. It's just how the camera is seeing it. So there's a notch in the frame where you put a jack on the side of the road, and it just bleaches it out. The camera just gets bleached out because the light comes through that hole, and all it sees is there's solid shadow, then there's light, so it just bleaches out the whole thing. The arm was touching. I've literally said this a bunch of times that I I had GoPro footage and I went back and looked at it for my head cam, and the pad was literally on there right before I went, because I went to remove, there's something underneath the car. I moved it, and then I went around and lifted the car up. So the pads were touching. It's just something happened with the lift. So it's just one of those things. Jesse quit. MK4 Escort Turbo RS. It's tight. G35. It's just chilling. Shout out Ontario, Canada. I don't know how to. It's Sudbury or something like that. Build a car for Lemons Racing. I mean, if I took any car to Lemons Racing, I'd just do the G35. I mean, it'd be perfect. It was cheap. I don't have much in it except for like the coilovers and stuff, but I could lie about that. I think BenPack has worked with YouTubers before. They've probably worked with larger channels, so I mean, I'm not that big of a channel to even have companies like that contact me. Yeah, I see that, Bob. I have another guy in Colorado Springs, so I'm just gonna see what happens with that. Thanks. Let's see. Did Trevor want me to be the guy that Ty currently is, like an employee? I mean, I don't really think Ty's that much of an employee. It's just one of those things. It's hard to explain with Trevor. So it's I mean, I don't really want to get into it, but the whole financial aspect is I I helped Trevor out for like 3 years, and I have nothing to show for it. So at the end of the day, it's just one of those things. So that's why I started working more on my own channel, and I think it makes more. I mean, I don't want to really make it into this big deal, but and we're still friends. It's just, best for me to do my own thing, and at the end of the day, it's you know replace the lift or move to another location. So I mean, I wouldn't mind replacing the lift, but I really don't want to buy a brand new lift to put in a shop that's not mine. And the same thing goes with the shop I'm renting. I really don't want to throw a new lift in that shop and then have to pull it down and move it. So we'll just see exactly what happens. I'm probably not going to use that lift at all to its full capacity. I'll probably just use it to like lift the car a few feet off the ground, use jack stands under it if I need to do something under the car, but I'll never use it to lift the car all the way up to the ceiling again. I mean, it's definitely not. It's too it's too unstable for that. Missed the Trevor talk. There really wasn't any talk about Trevor, so is a Miata a decent starting car? I mean, they're pretty cheap. I mean, if you're tall, I wouldn't recommend getting one, but I mean, you could learn how to do anything on any car. You could literally get a Civic and start working on a Civic, but just, I mean, you could do it with any car. Civics are cheap. I think Miatas are cheap. Let's see. Why don't I just drop it off at a body shop? I mean, I could stud gun it and pretty much do all the stuff I want to do to it myself. It's just at this point, I think it's best to use that shell for the next Magnum project, then get a nice clean Magnum and cut it up for the next project. So I'll just kind of flip flop them, I guess. Never heard me cuss like that. Yeah, I mean sometimes I could get I could get going. Come and swap in the Magnum. Hello from Pakistan. What's going on? Thanks. Let's see. Hello, Dave. What's up, Robert? Just cut the roof off of it. I thought of cutting the roof off of it and making it into a truck, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about the whole truck thing. Then I'd have to figure out where I'm going to put the car because it wouldn't have a roof on it and the car's super long. So build a 347 stroker Fox body. I don't know about Fox bodies. I've never really liked how they looked. So what unknown car would I buy? So if I was able to import one, which there are a few in the country, but if I was able to import one, I'd get a Lancia Delta Evo 3 because they're just like cool cars. They're almost like kind of like a Rabbit, but they look better and not like the older model, not the 80s model, like a 96 one because they updated the bumpers, they updated the rear spoiler, they updated a lot of the aero and the wheels, um, and the interior. I love the confetti interior in them, but if I imported something, I think that would be one of the cars that I would import. I'd import one of those over like an R34. They're just really cool cars. They're quick, they're all-wheel drive, they're small, they're light. It's just a really cool car. Let's see. Let's see. Man, this is a lot of comments. Hell yeah. The FC, how's it going? It's going well. Just waiting to powder coat the wheels. Am I related to Tom Green? I don't think so. Uh, I'd tell you who I'm related to, but I'm never going to get any of the fortune, so it really doesn't matter. Do I ever make new friends? I mean, I don't understand how what the difference is between like me and I don't know. I'm not going to go into it, I guess. It's just kind of weird that I never have like any of my friends will come hang out, but it seems like I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, it's just kind of weird. So maybe it's just because I'm older, but it's just doesn't really make sense. So maybe maybe not. Any progress on the RV3240Z? Not really. Not much has been done with it lately. Hi from South Wales. What's going on? Be nice to see a track hawk build. It'd be nice to afford a track hawk right now. Hmm. When can we expect to work on the Magnum again? I mean, I worked on it yesterday. I'll be doing some stuff to it tomorrow, and I'll do some stuff to it Tuesday, and I should have the video out Wednesday for it. It's just gonna take a few days for. Actually, it'll probably be Wednesday night. I'm not exactly sure if I should if I post my videos at 8 a.m., which I've kind of tried to do, or if I post my videos at 6 p.m. I'm not exactly sure what is better because I feel like 8 a.m. pretty much has the whole day for people to kind of watch them. But I posted, I think it was one last week, maybe it was the week before. I posted one at 6 p.m. and it seemed like it got a lot more attention than the one I posted at a.m. And that might just be because more people actually like are home from work and they're not at work trying to watch my videos. So maybe it's a little bit better. I don't know. Let's see. Hmm. Let's see. Hello from Texas. What's going on? Watching from Australia. What's up? Hell yeah. Let's see. Maybe I should go to the bottom. Jesus. What do you think of Europe? Um, so I actually have dual citizenship. I'm half German, half American. So I have German citizenship as well. But I don't know. I like Europe. I just don't like all the random stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. You can't. I don't think you could have guns in Europe. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Plus, everything's so close together. It's just kind of. It's a lot easier to get places, which is cool. But at the same time, it's kind of just like packed. Unless you go to the country, which let's see. Get a Buick Grand National to fix up. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. It's weird. Worked at a body shop years ago, and a guy was welding on the car. Yeah, that's one thing I kind of had to watch out for when welding the seat rails in. The side, the what is it? The frame rail slash rocker panel on the Magnums, the Hellcats, the Chargers. They're filled with foam. If you weld it on too long, it'll catch on fire inside, and literally the fire will could like be days later, and then it could burn the car to the ground. So you kind of have to really go slow when welding it. You have to weld a little bit, then blow it with air to cool it off, and then keep welding just so it doesn't get too hot behind the metal and start that foam on fire. Because once that foam's on fire, you're not putting it out unless you're cutting the like a big hole in the side of the rail. What kind of motorsports am I into? I did like drifting a long time ago. I like doing it. It's just I don't like the events and where the sport has gone. Um, and also some of the people that go there. It seems like drifting has kind of turned into like a trashy sport almost. At least that's how I perceive it here. Everybody just destroys everything. So um, and not just our cars. I mean, I'm just talking about like the facilities, and you go like to an event, and then just shit is they're just throwing trash on the ground, and they're just throwing shit everywhere. So I really don't like the way drifting or where the sport has gone, but I do like drifting every once in a while. I do like time attack a little bit. I really don't like the SCCA stuff where you go through like the cones and stuff and you wait in line. But I like road course stuff like that. I don't really like sports where you have to wait in like huge lines for very long, because if I'm gonna wait in the line all day to get 3 runs, I might as well just chance a ticket and do something. Do a few pulls on the street or something late at night, something like that. So I don't know. Let's see. Do I have a gun? I have a few guns. A few. Do YouTubers buy cars to flex on each other? I really could care less what other YouTubers have as cars, because I really don't care. The same thing like when I was in high school, I could care less what other people are doing. It's just I'm sure they do, but to me, it's one of those things I could care less about. It's just funny. That's I'm sure that it does happen, but the fact about YouTube is that if you're gonna try to do YouTube, so a lot of people are like, I'm gonna start a channel. I don't want to watch your videos because I'm gonna do my own channel and I don't want to support you and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're just gonna buy one car or do one thing and only do one thing, your channel is not going to go anywhere. It's going to go nowhere. Nobody wants to watch you just, nobody wants to watch you work on a 240. Nobody wants to watch you work on, I don't know, nobody wants to watch you work on just like basic stuff. And they don't want to watch you just work on one thing. They want to they want to see stuff new all the time. It's one of those things. You get the hype when you first buy a car, and it kind of gets less hyped. And then if you sell the car, there's some hype. Or if you like every time you buy a car, if you just buy cars, I feel like you could just have a channel buying cars and not doing anything with them, because people are just like, oh, that's a sick car and all this stuff. And then you're just like, well, here's the next car. Or you could buy a car and blow it up or something like that. But it's uh it's just funny how YouTube is. You literally could have the coolest build in the world, like the only one of its kind, and do like crazy cool stuff with it, and your channel would go nowhere. But if you had a bunch of like crappy piece of shit cars and you did like basic stuff with them, your channel would blow up. And if you're a girl on YouTube, I mean, you just show your tits, show your ass. I mean, your channel is gonna have 100,000 subscribers in like 2 months. It's just how it is. It's just one of those things. So especially if you're an automotive chick or automotive chick, you're just like a chick that was like, oh well, automotive people like chicks. So um, I don't know. That's my take on YouTube. If you're gonna do something, I would not recommend getting into automotive stuff for YouTube. I would not be an automotive YouTuber. If I did it all again, I would, I don't know, I'd do something else. I'd like, there's so much better stuff to do than building cars on YouTube. You have to put in so much effort and money to build a car. You can literally, I've seen people building models of cars and they get like 4 million views on one video, which if you guys are new to YouTube and you don't really know what's going on and how people make money on it, usually around 1 million views. So like 1 million views is close to like $1,000. So I usually when I see somebody's video gets like 1 million views, I'm like, oh, they made $1,000. So pretty much every 1 million views is $1,000. If you get like 10 million views in a day, it's probably like 20 grand. So it's just kind of how the algorithm is and how they're gonna put ads and stuff on your video. It's some people are making a lot of money and it's cool for them. I'm pretty pumped, but you know, hopefully I can get to that point one day. And if you're gonna try to do your own channel, just realize that it's probably not going to go anywhere for a long time. Probably not going to go anywhere for the better part of a year or two. So unless you get into some niche thing that people are really hyped about and your videos just keep progressing and progressing, and then YouTube sees it and they just promote it to the moon. So I don't know. That's how it is. So if you guys didn't know. It was cool when you try to blow the engine up on a Magnum. Well said, Adam. Adam who? Get a chick as your helper? Um, I don't know. Let's see. What about a theme build? Been looking at 280ZX and wanted to make like a retro futuristic look. I don't even know what that means daily vlogs. It'd be nice to see some daily vlogs. So I try to do daily vlogs, and it seemed like everybody's like, well, you're talking too much. So that's kind of why I do the Sunday Q&As. Buy cars from naked women. Well, it looks like that's pretty much the end of the live stream, and it's been a little bit over an hour, and I usually like to keep them around an hour. So I'm gonna go work on the 240 a little bit more, and I want to get the diff in it and get the drive shaft in it. But thanks for watching the videos, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow in a video and next Sunday. Thanks for watching. See ya.